Evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are Nice Entertainment.
With conversations flow so free. He big like just telling Philly DC. Bringing you the knowledge, come see. The corner is the place to be. With conversations flow so free. He big like just telling Philly DC. Bringing you the knowledge, come and see. Step into the corner where knowledge finds its way with Pete, Big Mike, Jess, Dell, and Philly DC. Every day they bring the laughter, bring the tales. A podcast segment that never ever fails. Pete, the host with charm and grace, leads the conversations at a steady pace. Big Mike brings the humor, making us smile with jokes and stories that go the extra mile. Yeah. And then there's Jess, the wise and thoughtful voice, shares insights that make us rejoice. The deep thinker with unique perspective expands our minds with that are so reflective. Last but not least, there's Philly DC, captivates us with stories that he knows the streets. Yeah, together they create a harmonious blend.
We got a special guest that just came into the corner. We'll go ahead and get on with it, man. Hurry up. We'll bring it in right now. Y'all know I haven't really met him.
Yeah, stop hating. Hey, stop hating. Stop hating.
What's up, bro?
Stop hating. Stop hating.
What's up, what? What's going on?
Hey, yo, let me get a time check real quick. You hear me loud?
Loud as shit, man. Loud as shit. Look like he's busy. So, welcome to the corner, Al. Welcome to the corner. It's good to have you on.
What's up?
Man, what's up, bro?
Brother, how you been?
So tune into the corner, let your mind explore. Pete, Big Mike, just Philly DC for sure.
No doubt.
Their
So,
voices will
my
guide
name
you
is
through topics far and
Al Price
wide in
on
the corner. Knowledge and
Hey,
entertainment
we gonna bring him in. Cheers. I'm about to cheers to my man. What up, Big Jackson?
Hey, let me hit you back, Nate.
What the world? I'm gonna be on.
Here we go. Here we go.
What's up?
Wait a minute, hey, you know, hey, Philly all day, baby. Philly all day.
Listen.
Yeah, we got another guest. We got another guest in the building, man. So we'll bring him right here. He should be on there, but he ain't. But we'll bring him right in. Y'all know him as Dale. We call him Landale or Big Dale or Big Brown. What's up, big homie? What's good?
He ain't no damn guest. He ain't no.
Man, where you at looking fresh? Where you at?
What you in Marshall? You in Marshall? Hey, look at that. Look at that.
What the fuck? Yo, what's up?
What's up?
What's up with y'all? How's everybody doing?
Much.
Good.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Tyree in the
sir.
building.
Hey. DC, don't act like that. He said a retiree.
You're right. You're right. Yo, welcome everybody to another podcast, another episode on this podcast, Unpopular Celebrities. Well, today you have the corner, but before we get started, I just want to ask y'all a question, man. I was mad heated the other day. Pete was getting on my nerves, man. You know how it is when you have good friends and stuff, and they just get on your nerves every time. They just always in your business. You get tired of them. And I said to myself, what could I do to get out of this space and relax? What do y'all do to relax? Jess, what do you do to relax?
Well, you know, I'm notorious for self-care Sundays. I just like to, as corny as this is, Pandora. I'll go to Pandora and listen to like the 90s R&B love song just to bring me back down. And sometimes I love going to YouTube and finding like old hip hop, like obviously I love 2 Chainz, but 2 T.I. instrumentals. Just listen to the instrumentals and sometimes without the words. That helps me relax.
I feel that. Dale, what about you? What do you do to relax and get away?
Work out, watch a good movie, and just chill with the fam. That's pretty much what I like to do on my spare time. What about you?
Word. You know, it's funny you say that. Jess, you said you like to look up YouTube videos and listen to 2 Chainz. Dale, you said you'd like to go work out and stuff. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? Did you know you can do that all on a cruise? Did you know that?
You're
Oh
right.
yeah.
Well, if you want to take a cruise and you want to find the best deals, you can go to Valor Vacations. Valor Vacations is a veteran-owned franchise specializing in cruises, land, and tour vacations. They proudly support our military friends and families and are committed to finding special rates and discounts for you. Whether you're celebrating a milestone event like Jess retiring, or just wanting to get away with loved ones like Dale and his wife and his little baby, their team can help plan the perfect vacations tailored to your needs. Their in-depth knowledge, personal experience, and strong relationships with cruise lines and tour companies will guide you to the best vacation option. So contact them today at 1-855-VALOR-ME. That's 1-855-825-6763 for personalized assistance and exclusive offers. Shout out to
Yes,
Valor
sir.
Vacations for sponsoring this episode.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Valor Vacations. Woo woo. All right, so let's start with Jess. Jess got some crazy stuff going on. First of all, congratulations to Jess. She has
Thank you.
officially
Thank
joined Team Retirement.
I know.
Yes,
Hashtag
sir.
DDP14.
Jess, so tell us what's up. How was your retirement ceremony?
Ooh, you know, now that the dust kind of settled, it was a lot at first, you know, because you think about all the years that you have served. And when we come in, obviously we're one person, and we're leaving out, we're completely revamped. We're different. And I just wanted my retirement ceremony to be something intimate. That's why I had it at the Rosa Parks Museum. And honestly, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you just don't know. A lot of people are coming," and I'm just like, "No, they're not." And at first, I was against Facebook Live because I didn't know what I would say. And to be honest, I'm glad that I did offer a Facebook Live, because I got to think about the people that are away and wanted to be there. Like one of my good friends, Ebony Hills, Dr. Radiance Rose, we served in the Barnes Center and she couldn't make it. So I think about all those people that wanted to be there and they couldn't. Look at Samel talking about your head.
I already told you.
Haters.
It was nice. And I'm gonna be honest, to see my family come in, like my cousins we grew up together, we went to high school together. So like to see them come to my retirement ceremony, that was unique. Even my cousins, because you know, family, I always say family starts with F because it's forever, but just to see my family in a celebration mode instead of always meeting up for funerals, like that
Right.
was something that I really took away from. Like I just had to step back from the crowd a moment just to be like, oh my goodness, like I have my family here with me, and it's not, you know, for a sad moment. And then getting up there, giving a speech. I think that was one, because you know, a lot of people say, you know, make sure you write your speech. Don't get up there. You don't want to be one of those people that's rambling. And then I had a lot of people who were like, you know, this is your time, this is your day. Say what's on your heart. And that's basically what I did. But I did want to just give credit to my commander, Major Jason D. Christie. Like I said on Friday, that man is like a legend. And when I tell you, like, to be a prior enlisted maintainer and be in the world of the Force Support Squadron, like he cares, he's very intelligent and has a high level of emotional intelligence. And I think that's very rare for some commanders sometimes to figure out how to balance two without losing who they are. And then the party, obviously, you know, I get to get glammed up, and that's what I wanted. Because, you know, as a female in the military, we're always in our uniform. But I was like, you know, I've been working hard. I'm no longer a busted can of biscuits, as my granddad would say. And I wanted to have fun. And I think we did. I think my kids had more fun than the grown people at the party, though, because it's so crazy.
Good.
People that were there, they're like, your older kids are so conservative. And that's what my older kids remind me so much of me when I was growing up. But then them two jokers, those last two, they are me right now. So I'm trying to find that right balance to, snatch them back in line without diminishing their light, but to still teach them how to have their voice. And one of the things I will always say the military gave me is they helped me break out of my shell and enhance that confidence. The last day of school, I went for my daughter's award ceremony, the 9-year-old. Her teacher, obviously, Taraji is one of those kids. She will check you if she feel like she's not getting the best chance. So like the whole year for science, she had a 100. And I was like, Taraji, what did you do to get a 100? She was like, well, if it was something that I thought the teacher marked incorrectly, I went back and I asked for clarification. And Taraji does use these words, clarification. So like the award that she got all A honor roll, but she got an award called Excellent Observer. And it was because, for her age, she catches all the small things that other people may miss. And her teacher was like, we don't know what you've done, but the level of confidence that she has at 9 years old, we don't know where she's going.
That's
But
what's up.
I'm still just soaking all in it.
Yeah. So two quick things, like catching your speech yesterday. The thing that kind of resonated with me is that part where you said, I think you was a PME instructor, and they felt like you wasn't enunciating some of the words correctly, so they put you in the back to play the music, and you started playing TA Rubber Band, man. You told them, either y'all gonna let me be out there in the front, or I'm gonna keep playing TA Rubber Band. I thought that was classic.
I can still picture that in my head because it was like, as PME, for a minute, it thought, you had to be this prime, proper person that you can't mess up. You got to be able to be on point. Everything is so rigid. And then I was like, look, something going to have to give. And I remember he was like, well, you're going to have to keep practicing. But when they put me in that DJ booth, I got tired of hearing that song, Another One Bites the Dust. So I was like, you know what, let me try something different. And they were like, you're responsible for music. But when I put on that instrumental of Rubber Band Man, T.I., and I saw everybody like, they were looking at the front, but they turned around and looked at the back of the DJ booth. I was like, oh, Lord. I said, some of them know what I'm doing, baby.
Yeah, that was awesome. I caught that one. And then there was one more. You mentioned something about, like, as you was coming up in the ranks, you had all these people that were in your corner. You were talking about specifically men. You were saying how you can have men in your corner, and it's a good thing being a female. And it doesn't have to be taken, something totally differently. You want to kind of like touch on that a little bit? I might have gotten that totally messed up. But.
No, you did. And before I shared my speech, I said, like, I had a traumatic experience, and I did have a traumatic experience with a male before I even joined. And, if you get what I'm dropping, you understand what I'm saying. So like to be in that phase in my life, like I was still, torn. I was still vulnerable. I was really like just timid and shy. But when I got to Korea and I had those group of guys, it opened my eyes to, what people tell you as a female was like, oh, you can't trust this guy. All they want is one thing from you. And when, you've been in that situation where someone has taken that one thing from you, you do feel like you got to protect yourself a little bit more. And I always tell people like that shaped me and who I was. And that's how I got my confidence. When you get beat down and something that is supposed to be yours gets taken from you. I'm the example of what revamping and re-believing in yourself looks like. So I used to always get so frustrated when people used to be like, you're cocky, you're too confident. I'm like, yo, you don't know what it means to be broken, to be, left in a position where you feel dirty. But to have those men at that time in my life, yo, first of all, when they forgot my dorm room, I was just like, where am I supposed to go? And then, Chief now select Lamar McWilliams. We used to call him Money. Money was like, here we go. Money was like, I am going to let you stay in my room. You can stay here the weekend, because it was around Memorial Day weekend. I got there in May. They were like, we'll take care of you on Monday. And they did. But the mere fact that they showed me the ropes, they took care of me. And it opened up my eyes to where, man, I can get real feedback from men. That's what I felt like. And the majority of the time, the men in my career, I started paying attention. I was like, yo, I am being supervised by more men, and they were hard on me. And I think I appreciate the fact that they were hard on me. They didn't treat me like I was some damsel in distress, especially Chief Theodore Graves. Because being in LRS, I was an admin working in a vehicle operation. So I learned so much about that career field that he put, when you go back and look at that EPR, it's so much vehicle operations or ground trans information on there. But it was hot in Korea. Y'all know when you there in the summertime, like you be sweating, you be wet. Sorry, from like the flight to the squadron. And the squadron used to be over there where like the BX was. So I was like, Chief, can I ride with you? He said, you good at your job, but I'll meet you over there at the squadron. I'll be like, God, dog, he really gonna make me walk in this hot ass heat up there to the squadron? And he did. He was like, you ain't finna have me like these other folks be getting caught up and thinking I'm your sugar daddy.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, but I do appreciate all the male supervisors that I've had, because, you know, when you are female and you, I would say, have a high level of aggression, you have to learn like not to emasculate a man. But I think having those males who were also high aggressors, which is not a bad word, they helped me learn how to like throttle back and when to give and when not to give. But those men also told me like, hey, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Go try it. So my inspiration came from that. And I'm not downplaying the women. It's just that some women that I've encountered in my career were not as impactful as the men. But then the women that I did encounter, they were the same. They were high level aggressors, very assertive. Y'all heard the ones that got up and spoke. But yeah.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good in your speech. Dale, what's up with you, bro?
Not much. I was gonna pivot off that what Jess was saying, and I know you wanted to talk about this Marjorie Taylor Greene and Jasmine Crockett when they were going at it. So you want to start off with that as the first topic?
Yeah. So all right. So if I don't know if people in the audience have caught it, but there was I wouldn't even call it a skirmish, like maybe.
Hold on, you can't play it? Can we play it?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can find it.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Y'all go ahead and keep talking. Let me go find it real quick so I can play it for y'all.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Dale, as he finds it, you know, I looked at, because they're both my sorors of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. But you heard Joy Reid talk about it yesterday. I think it was yesterday or Friday on the news. And because, you know, she's young. And they were like, hold on, was that something you got out of your grandma book? But it was what she said. And I think about it because it resonates with me. She was like, you know, I had the B word in the forefront of my mind. I was like, I see you, girl. I know what you meant. But she did. She did say, but it was just, you know, what she said is now about to be patent. And I said, a lot of people about to be in trouble.
What she say? Beach blonde. Butch. She said,
okay, I think I found it. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here. Hold on, stand by one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see my brother's
question.
Yep. And
do you feel some other women were disingenuous or difficult to grow with during your career?
Hey, do y'all see it?
I do not.
No.
Okay, hold on. Stand by one.
There you go. You got Joy Taylor up there?
No, not that one.
So Samel,
that's supposed to be another topic. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I will honestly say, you know, after I had the crew from Columbus, Mississippi, and I had some women at Holloman, obviously senior retired Natalie Bell, she brought into light like what womanhood, what sisterhood looked like. But then as I started to grow in the ranks, I started to feel, especially from my own race, a lot of competition and competitiveness. And I grew up in the military where, you know, sharing is caring. Like even the women that I rock this with, and I would say this, you know how you'll have a woman that'll say, I don't have a lot of female friends. I've never been like that. Like I have friends, both male and female, and it was
Right.
so nice to see females come together. And I never get that question. Well, who's gonna be here? Because I don't know if I can come if so and so can be here. I didn't have any of that, but I did have conflict with women who thought I was trying to be their competition or I was trying to be better than them. And I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
And it was so crazy. But if you know me, you know that's not me. But it was some people look at you as competition. And I did feel along my career, I did have women that got close to me only to use me. But I had to make sure I didn't become bitter from that experience or engagement with them. So those experiences did make me push forward more and be like, you know what? You better not be like them. Don't close off from other females who may need your sisterhood, because you don't know what experiences they have had either.
All right, got it. Y'all see it?
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, good. All right, I'm gonna play it. Let me know if y'all hear the audio and stuff. All right,
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
y'all hear it?
Yeah.
Is she a porn star?
Yeah.
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What? Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG
I don't
Garland.
think you know what you're here
President.
for.
Well, you the one talking about. I guess
I
you still
think your
stuck in the
fake eyelashes
courtroom.
are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr.
That's
Chairman,
beneath
would
even
you
your
please
history. That's
regain
beneath
order
even
of your
you.
committee?
Order.
Please.
There's a point of order.
We have a point of order. Mr. Lynch, state your point.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask the parliamentarian if your conduct here in raising money in connection with this hearing.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. So there's more to the video. After that, there was an exchange where Crockett went back at asked a
Oh, you
question to the
gotta
House.
show that experience
You
though.
want me to show that one?
Yes,
Okay,
like,
all right, hold on.
I'm gonna have to fast
All right,
forward a
hold
little
on.
bit.
Let me.
because it
All right, hold
also
on.
has AOC in
Yeah.
we need
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I think I got it.
I believe she
Chair
should
recognizes
apologize. No. She
Perry.
should
Okay,
apologize.
hold on.
Yeah,
Why
because
don't
AOC
Order!
is trying to
Ladies,
get them to
The correct.
strike what
For
she
the second.
said, and that would cause
Yeah.
Taylor
Objection must be
Green to
contemporary-
get kicked out of the House, but they wouldn't
rejected
do it.
immediately and instantaneously.
Suspend for a minute.
It's gonna take me a minute.
Motion to strike her.
Recognize.
Please
Chair
should
recognizes.
apologize.
Motion
a little
first.
bit more.
Words.
Oh, y'all can
Seconds,
still
there's
see
a-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all want to go back or forward?
No, right there should be good.
The committee
All
will
right.
reconvene. Miss Green has 4 minutes and 21 seconds. There's a motion. Miss Green, do you wish to strike your words?
I have 4 minutes and 21 seconds to speak.
I think we have to do the motion first, and then unless there's another motion, then you'll be recognized again. But I believe there's another motion coming. So, will you agree to strike your words?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
agree.
Miss Green agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
should
recognizes
apologize. No. She
Mr.
should
Perry. Okay,
apologize.
hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Miss Green
I'm
still
not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then
Okay,
you're not
reserve the right to
striking your
object.
words. I am
Mr.
not
Perry.
apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman,
Oh,
the minority.
pretty
No,
self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
out of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
oh.
Okay, move to strike the. I move to strike the lady's words.
Order.
The lady's words again.
That's two requests to strike. That's two requests to strike.
Oh, they cannot take the
There's
words.
another motion to strike her words again. Please
All right.
get
Okay.
your members under
Here's the
control.
correct priority. Miss Green, do you ask unanimous? Do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll strike
right.
my words,
That-
but I'm not
all right.
apologizing.
Without objection. Without
Not
objection.
apologizing.
Chair
Reserving the right to
recognize-
object.
No.
Chairman, I
Chair
reserve the right to
recognizes
object.
Mr.
I
Perry.
reserve the right to
Mr.
object.
Chairman, I move that Mr. Goldman's words and Ms. Ocasio-Cortez's words be stricken.
Okay.
Which words? And you have to do it contemporaneously. Object. The objection must be contemporaneous, and they haven't spoken in 10 minutes.
Nobody's spoken in 10 minutes.
Well, that's right. Therefore, defeating your proposal.
You all have. So that's what
I think this is
that's
a
my
one-sided.
motion, Mr.
It
Chairman.
wasn't when
Okay, hold
She
on. I
said-
think this is the part where she says it.
yeah.
The ayes are 21. The nays are 19. about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch
There you
body
go.
that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold
a
on.
part
I'm
of the.
trying to find clarification on what qualifies.
Chairman, motion to strike
He's,
those
he's
words.
laughing next to him.
We're not going to do this. Look, you
He
guys
knew it.
earlier literally just said
You
yes.
just
So pay attention to this part. This is important.
Voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down. Calm
No,
down.
because this
I
is
will
what
let you
y'all
get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying to
Hey,
get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Miss
games.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And
yelling.
You don't want
Calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Chairman, Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
All right,
Sorry.
chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Order.
acting.
Chair.
Okay. All right. So thoughts?
Pete.
So thoughts? Who wants to go first?
Oh man.
So overall,
I got-
Green can't take what she dish out. I'm gonna go to you, Dale. That's all I'm gonna say for right now.
Oh yeah, we gotta play the disclaimer too. Yeah, because
He played the
Jessica
disclaimer.
would not. But yeah, anyway, anything that comes from the Unpopular Celebrities podcast is all unofficial. None of the conversations or comments from us or our guests represent the DoD or armed forces as a whole. Yeah, I agree with what Jess was saying. She wanted to take a jab at her and wasn't expecting it to come back at her. So I think I'm gonna have it on the surface as that comment. What you think, DC?
Well, a number of thoughts. So I will play this. I'll put like this. What Taylor Greene did was wrong. If the House has specific rules from this is something I just found out. I was ignorant. But I guess there's specific rules that go back to the 1800s and say, and it was even more strict back then. If you said something that was out of character, like say if you said you this, you can be kicked off the House floor for that session. And what Taylor Greene said, which she has been known to say some outlandish things in the past, for them to allow that to happen and for them to go that long without taking action is beyond me. I mean, I can understand why Crockett and AOC would be upset. The only thing I will say is which was interesting is I watched the show. It was Good Morning America, and the news anchor asked Crockett, Miss Crockett, and said, "Hey," asked her about her feelings about what happened and whatnot. And she said that was interesting. She said, she asked Crockett, you know, Michelle Obama, when she was in office, she says, when they go low, we go high. How do you feel about that? And then Crockett, she took a moment and I can't remember her exact response. It didn't say, it's not like she didn't agree with what Michelle Obama said, but she kind of like agreed with what she did and how she did it based on how Taylor Greene reacted. My personal opinion, I see the news anchor's point. I think when you allow people to get you out of that space, it's almost like that's what they want in a way.
Yeah,
and there's always a stigma for some reason that when African American females get upset, that they're losing their composure or whatever. I mean, you can understand why Crockett is upset. But because she raised her voice that way, that doesn't mean she's out of order or anything. But people get this idea. It's a double standard in a way. Jess?
So I agree with Crockett. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I look at it from a generational perspective. I'm not 40 yet. And I think I look at this, I have like a timetable in my head. I say, in my 20s, I took time to really unlearn everything that I had learned from childhood to teenage years. And then in my 30s, it's that time to like, okay, now you know better, you better do better. And I believe yes, from First Lady Michelle Obama's position, like you can say when they go low, you gonna go high. But it's some of us that are out here that's still trying to pivot and understand you said what you said. So now you've opened up the room for me to say what I need to say, whether or not it's in the most responsive way that somebody else would. But I believe that Crockett is okay and comfortable with the consequences of her actions. And I think that's where I have a problem where, yes, she said what she said, but she's owning what she said. I think sometimes when we're in high positions, people are looking for us to always have the utmost responsibility for others. But I think when a person is placed in a position and they're being attacked, by all means, I feel like you should defend yourself. And I felt like she defended herself in that moment, because it was like, for Green to say, I don't know what she said, I don't think you know what you're here for. And then she started, it would be one thing, like if you told me that, I would have been like, okay, well, what am I here for? But she went into insult mode when she said, I think your fake eyelashes are messing up what you're reading. That's an insult. So now you've opened up the gate for me to release what I'm going to tell you now. Because it's like, why? What did that have to do with her being there?
Right.
So, all right, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Does that mean two wrongs don't make a right?
Sometimes two wrongs can make a right.
Yeah, you can circle back.
So what I forgot to say is this: it's the corner. So for you folks that's in the audience, if I see your comments down there, I can't. Let's see if I can get to reading them.
I'm with Faith. Faith said,
okay,
we allow what we accept. Welcome to our 2024 government. It's a wonder we can't move past certain things. Praying for my babies every day. You're right. And I think that's the biggest thing sometimes, with us being attached to the government, but then we have key figures and representatives that represent us from our home of records, and they can't even behave right. But yet we are held to a extremely high level. And I will say underpaid, but they act like this. That's the biggest thing that I always take away from these things that play out. I'm like, y'all are decision makers impacting us and other people, and y'all up here acting plump fools. And I really wanted you to play AOC, because like AOC is what she said, because I ain't gonna lie, I would have said what OAC said when she was like, oh, baby girl. Or what's
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Let's go.
So like for you folks in the comments, if y'all got something y'all want to chime in on, the link is already in the chat. Be great to hear from y'all. Everybody's got different perspectives. So Faith, I know you in there, so I know you always got some interesting like caveats to it. So please feel free to jump in. All right. So are we done? Let's see. The only thing I would say on this is I think it was purely out of taste. Like they're supposed to be in the Congress. And for something like that, I think both sides, I mean, come on, like there's a better way. They're supposed to be the example, like for the American people. And how long did they spend on this? Almost 20, 30 minutes. And whoever's at the house, I can't remember the gentleman's name, he sucks. Like this guy, you can't even keep things in order. Like if the rules specifically state that something is stricken from the record and cause somebody to get kicked out, just do it. I mean, it gives that person more power anyway. Okay. 100%. So, moving on, and feel free again, if y'all guys got so much y'all want to chime in, please feel free to jump in, and then we'll link you in. As you know, the MassSAR results just came out this week, as always. So, interesting tidbit for the MassSAR releases. We've had, according to the promotion statistics, 5,500 was selected for promotion out of 29,467. this year. So as always, you've got folks who got promoted. Shout out to all the people this year that got promoted to Master Sergeant.
Congratulations.
You deserve it. Yep. The Air Force has got it right. But then, of course, unfortunately, you had some folks, and I'm sure you have folks that you know personally, Jess and Dell, that may have not got promoted this year. And there's some frustration involved in that too. So first, I want to give y'all, let's give some advice for the brand new Master Sergeants who are now crossed over into the top 3. What advice do you have for them?
Some people used to always say, now you got to prepare for the next strike. I would say the worst feedback that you can receive right now is to keep doing what you're doing. And the reason why I say that is because you are leaving technical expertise world. You are no longer considered a team player. And I know I used to get that all the time. You are now considered a team builder. When you become a senior non-commissioned officer, you already have been in the service of others at all time, but now that senior means you come to the back because you're a senior citizen in the NCO ranks. So now that's what I mean about the team builder aspect. It's your job to go out there and find opportunities for your people. I will tell you, and it's just my perspective, I didn't even do top 3 at all as a master sergeant. I wasn't nobody's executive committee whatsoever. And the reason why I did it is because I was trying to figure out, like, I struggled from becoming a technical expert to now it was my job in grooming and helping my tech sergeants come where I am. So I would just say, give yourself grace. Read. Reading is fundamental. You need to be able to read and be able to collaborate with other people. Collaborate with people that are thinkers, not like you. Because when you collaborate with people who don't think like you, it allows you to take your thinking up a little bit higher. But that's the only advice that I have for you all. Congratulations again.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Dale, what about you?
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, that's what I struggled with when I finally put on, was leaving that technical aspect of always wanting to turn the turn the wrenches, check the ID, stuff like that, and stepping back and empowering NCOs and not always wanting to be in the mix, and actually observing how you operate with your team and how you can pick their weaknesses to build them up. That was definitely something that took me like the first year to get. I did end up joining the top 3 so I can lean on some other master sergeants that more seasoned, like Pete, Big Mike, all of them. Like, those are the people that were.
Well, that's where you
people
went
that I
wrong.
saw
You
that,
said Pete. I don't know why you said Pete. That's where you went wrong.
Hey, yeah, people that I saw that had the stripe on for a while, and people have them as mentors. I'm like, what makes them a good mentor? Why are people coming to this person for that? So I like to pick people's brains. So I always leaned on them. Got out in the groups, got out in the groups outside of MSG. I started hanging out with some some maintenance personnel, OG personnel, and like saw how they operated and stuff as a master sergeant. So just don't think it's don't do it all by yourself. This is the time to start connecting with other senior NCOs, and that'll level up your game as you continue throughout your career. So congrats, 2024.
All right, we got a post from Cortland Holloway. Shout out to Corey, man. This dude is a NCO Academy instructor here at Lackland. Says, what are your thoughts on non-selectees becoming mathematicians overnight to make the scores work in their favor? Jess, your thoughts?
Ask him to call in on this one.
Yeah, you know what? You always on point as always. Corey, how about you jump on and you ask the question? So the link is in there.
Right, conversation about that one.
That's right. The link is in there, Corey. Hit the link, get with P, he'll get you on. So while you're doing that, I'll give my quick advice real quick. So I thought what Jess and Del said was spot on. I agree 100%. I think especially what Jess said about, that's like the normal thing. We say, keep doing what you're doing. Well, if I keep doing what I'm doing, it didn't get me to where I wanted to be. It didn't get me to where what I expected. What I would add is what Tony Bostic said on the Airman NCO page, but I thought was spot on. He said, you got to find people out there who is going to give you critical feedback, the type of feedback that's going to sting, that you're not going to like, but it's going to make you better. And then not only that, you've got to get outside your comfort zone too, because like every career feels different. And one thing I tell people all the time, every year, things change. You have different board members, different promotion rates, and you have different levels of competition. One year you might be, I scored a 385. I only missed it by 5. I got my bachelor's degree this year. I got me an award. I'm in there now. And then all of a sudden you get your board score back. It dropped 15 points. You say, the board got it wrong. It's not necessarily that. You got to remember, every year you got new people jumping in the pool of competition.
Yep.
So that means it's timing. Timing is the key I think people don't talk about, is timing. Sometimes that one year where you're busting your can trying to get it done. That was your year. So yeah, good advice. So let's see.
And the other thing that a lot of people forget is like, it's your record. Like, the thing that used to bother me is when people be like, well, so-and-so told me I need to do this. And I was like, your record illustrates a story. So like, I used to always think about the Price is Right, like the little Yoda man. Okay, I went up a little bit. I never wanted to get out the gate and leave me nothing. And that's why I felt like it was so important for me to like, whatever I did, it had to be impactful and influential at that time. But if it was something that just to be doing busy work, I'm not going to do it. And you got to consider like you as a person, like if you're a family person, you really have to learn the importance of time management and what can you, like, if I do this, is it also added value to my family? Because you don't want to look back and be, have resentment because you did all these things and you still didn't get promoted.
Yeah. That's always been a tricky conversation every year about this whole airman concept. But before we get into that, I think we need to talk about our sponsor, which is Valor Vacation. Valor Vacation is a veteran-owned franchise specializing in cruises, land, and tour vacation. They proudly support our military friends and family and are committed to finding special rates and discounts for you. Whether you're celebrating a milestone event like getting promoted to Master Sergeant or just wanting to get away with loved ones, our team can help plan the perfect vacation tailored to your needs. Their in-depth knowledge, personal experience, and strong relationships with cruise lines and tour companies will guide you in the best vacation options. So call them today at 1-855-VALOR-ME. That's 1-855-825-6763 for personalized assistance and exclusive offers. All right. So back to the conversation. I think whole airman concept has always been an issue. I won't say issue, but like maybe a point of confusion because it's something that has never been removed from the Brown Book. But I will tell you, in my experience, when it comes to not only promotions, especially awards, people always say that's usually the one thing that gets somebody over. What are y'all thoughts about whole airman concept? Private orgs, Senior NCO Academy president, things of that nature. Oh, we got somebody. Welcome in Cortland Holloway, everyone. Our first one for the day. Our first one. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Big T? How y'all doing today?
Bro, how you doing? We're doing good. Welcome to the show, bro. What you want to talk about?
Now, you can put that question in there and not come in here and have this conversation with us now.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready for it. So, once again, Chief told me, right? He's over here. He talked about like, I'm over at the NCOA. This is my first year being there when the selection processes come down and we got people in the room. There's nothing worse than being like, hey guys, we got to start this up today. We're going to talk about ethical leadership. And everybody's looking at computers because they're trying to refresh because 08 hit and they're trying to figure out what the results are, right? You got some people in the class, they're coming up to me 2 days before, like, hey, look, I got selected. I don't know if I'm staying here. Do I got to participate in the base selection thing for JBSA? I'm like, nah, you won't stay here. You gotta get this lesson done, homie.
Right, exactly.
So, like, I'm sitting here, and throughout the day, I'm like, hey, I see they got the results. Let me pause down for 30 minutes. Let people get into the system, see what scores they got. And then throughout the day, I now have to listen to people have conversations about why, if I was in your AFSC, I would have been fine. If I was in this AFSC, I would have been fine. And if we had time and service, time and grade points, things have been worked out better. Oh, you know what we should do? We should have another system altogether where every EPR I have within that grade, I should get more points. But that's back to the time and service, time and grade. That's not how this whole thing works. Oh, well, my record didn't get updated with these A, B, C, D. We should get more points for medals. And I'm like, hey, look, the math is the math. Like, Big Air Force has already said, this is the system we got to deal with. Well, I don't want to play the game. All right, cool, then don't play. That's just how it goes. Like, it's hard for me because I sit back and we're going through this. I have to teach these lessons. I'm trying to motivate these individuals to understand not what your commander wants, but what Big Blue wants. what Big Blue wants you to be able to do as a master sergeant, as a senior NCO, not as a tech sergeant. I'm not talking to you as a tech sergeant. I'm not talking to you to talk about how to be a better supervisor and write better packages. I'm talking about how to change cultures, how to have the vernacular to create change, not only at your level, but communicate that change up and down, right? And you need to motivate people. But it's funny because you see all these different things come out of people talking about how if we had the math go this way, that way. I'm like, yeah, if the math went this way or that way, and you in the pocket, you there. You big SARS now. That's what it's gonna be. But that's not the case. So let's have a real honest conversation about what you could and cannot do, right? We all understand. You take that look in the mirror and you say, hey, this is where I could be if I had done this A, B, C, and D. We all know what holes we had before we went into the board, what things were not on our records, what we could have pushed a little bit more for, or things we pushed too hard for and didn't highlight things on the right level. But that's where I'm at.
Okay.
So I will give my head out to you, first of all, for being a PME instructor. I did it for 8 years straight. So I totally understand what you mean. Yes, sir. I did ALS, I did NCOA, and I also went to teach other instructors how to be instructors, and I was a commandant at that EPMEIC. The one thing that PME taught me, like PME teaches you how the Air Force is supposed to operate. One thing that has never changed, and yes, we create all these different goals and missions, but the Air Force has these institutional competencies. And Chief DC, don't get mad with me when I say this, but we still got a lot of seasoned professionals whose intellect is still sitting in those competencies. As much as we sit in these rooms and talk about how to evolve and take us to the next stage for GPC, we have to remember we're not on track for that change that we're talking about as much as we want to be. The thing with our people is we're looking for a way to validate our feelings. And this is why I always tell people, your feelings are not facts. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to help you understand what you could have done better. But at the same time, I believe that our job, especially where you are, PME, is to teach people how to be better human beings. You got a lot of people walking out here who are empty shells or vessels of themselves. So they're looking for things to fill themselves up. So when you are not full and complete in self, you're going to find ways, because again, like you said, I could have did this, I could have did that, but why were you doing it in the first place? So get back to you jumping to why. What are you doing? And then how are you going to do it? And then explain to yourself, why are you doing it? It's a process. But I would always tell people, especially my students, that be like, well, I didn't get stranded. I was like, I'd never been stranded until I went up for chief. So, and you think that I'm amazing, I'm great. So how do you think I look at you sitting in my classroom and I've had students 12 outstanding airmen of the year and still did not make promotion, because people have told them like, oh, you got this on your record, you will make it. I said, this is the problem. You need to make sure whatever you're doing is something that you can reflect back on and be like, it's an end goal. Like when we talk about, DC was talking about whole airman concept. I truly believe in whole airman concept, but it needs to be something that you want to do. Like I always did juvenile justice because I love kids. I feel like kids still got a level of innocence that you can pour into them. Those are things that we don't have enough of. You got people that, oh, I'm about to be 5'6" president, but what are you doing besides holding a position? Okay, you at the meetings. You're about to be top 3 president. You're calling the meetings, but what are you doing? Are you going out and meeting with the Chamber of Commerce to make sure that the base has an imprint? Like that's what I'm talking about. Like think outside of the box. I'm not waiting on no chiefs group as a master sergeant to tell me I got to go and meet with the Chamber of Commerce to determine like how can I have an imprint for my base or my tier group outside of the gate. That's my problem. Our people are waiting for this blueprint or this carbon copy of how to make themselves marketable for promotion. But getting a degree, you know, the thing that bothered me so much for promotions is people were like, well, you were on the cuffs, but so-and-so had a degree. Yeah. All you need is your CCAF. So my thing is you need to understand, just because you got your bachelor's, your master's, or your doctorate, that's because you personally want that. The requirement is a CCAF. So these are the conversations that if you have these talks, these people need to sit down with their supervisor, sit down with your flight chiefs, sit down with these people, come up with open-ended questions. Don't come up with no damn questions that is yes or no. Come up with open-ended questions to make them give you added value feedback. Because I would take my scores and be like, hey, this was my score from the board. I'm in the middle. Based off of my records and what you have seen me do in the past, what are some ideas of what I can do to help set myself apart from what I did last year? Keyword, I never said apart from my peers. I said myself.
That's what's up.
That's why I said the conversations are so important, but a lot of people are banking on this stuff. But it's like, what are you doing for yourself first? Fill yourself up first and not allow the system to destroy you.
All right, good stuff. Corey, what you think about that, bro?
I think it's all facts. It really is, because once again, with I'm in the
We
classroom.
just got somebody else up in the building. We got somebody up in the building. Oh, we cooking now. Let them cook, let them cook, let them cook, let them cook.
And they both in Texas right now.
We got the world traveler herself, Faith Donovan, the Don in the house. I like I like your pseudonym there. I like that.
Hey.
Or your nickname. Yeah. Corey, what was you saying? Go ahead, brother.
So once again, it is a big thing of like, we have the conversations, right? Because it's going to come up. I have a curriculum to teach, and it's overarching across this big concepts, trying to get these people to understand those bigger concepts. But a lot of them are still like base level of what their squadron commander wants, what their mission wants. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to feed you. I'm going to feed that beast to make sure you have the tools you need to go back to your organization and be able to make things happen. But I can't feed into every single aspect of what you think you need to have. I thought I saw a question about if NCOA is about checking the box now. I was like, hey.
Yeah, that's from that dirtbag in the comments. I don't know who he is.
Let me say.
Oh, it's me. My bad.
I still love you.
My bad.
So here's what I have to say about that. It really depends on the mindset you have coming in. If I have a student that comes in and knows he or she knows I ain't finna do it, I don't want to be here, I got told to be here, then that's what it's gonna be. I already know. I'm like, hey, cool. Appreciate you telling me that. I already know everything going forward for the next 5 to 6 weeks, depending on how that time frame is. I know what kind of product I'm gonna get out of you. I know what kind of, I'm gonna try to pull out, I'm gonna try to give you, I'm trying to loop you in as best I can, using all the techniques they've shown me and using my own personality, but I already know what you're gonna give me at the end of the day. Now we have those individuals who come in and they say, hey, I want to learn things, I want to take back, I want to take from other people, I want to learn from y'all's experiences. I know that person's experience in NCOA is gonna be better. Now, people always talk about, oh, is it supposed to check the box? Yeah, it's PME. You only get so many days in your Air Force career, from ALS to Chief Leadership School. If you become a diamond, you get more. Yes, we have fundamentals, and they're filling in those gaps to help people out, to get them where they need to be, having them some more of that supervisory experience, giving them those tools. But at the end of the day, that in-person experience, because I have had people like, man, we could have done this online. I'm like, yeah, you know what that was? Course 14, course 15. How well did that work out? You know what that was? CN listed joint PME 1 and 2. How well does that work out? Tell me one concept you remember from any of those CBTs.
They don't, because it was a cheat code.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
look at Corey standing on business right there. That soldier boy go tell him. That's what I like to hear.
It really is, because like we all know, if it's something you want us to learn, what we're gonna do? We're gonna do an in-person, hands-on training. We're gonna interact. We're gonna learn from each other. If it's something I gotta have to check a box, cool. Take the CBT.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to stop you right there, man. I gotta read this one because this is hot off the presses. Let's see here. From my man Charles Davis, he says, worrying about these tiles is just empty calories. Ooh, let me drop one for that one. If you don't have purpose and meaning, fully believe in doing the work and controlling what I can control. Man, shout out to Charles Davis on that one. That is so on point. We got another one. God dang, Pete. I tell you, one after the other. All right. This from Eric J. Where does one take personal accountability? I see so many, as you said, the system is flawed, but they haven't put in the work. Ooh, that stabbed me right there. Secondly, the expectation is first and second time promotions. If they don't get it, and they're frustrated and say how the Air Force is flawed. Jay Player spot on. Bruh, Man, that's a big one because I'm telling you, all right, I'm just gonna say this quick 10-second rant. Because I'm telling you, I love how folks get online and they say, look at me. I made staff sergeant the first time. I'm going to show you how. Not knowing there's a lot that comes with promotion. Just because it works for you, don't mean it's going to work for everybody else. Then all of that, is it all about promotion? And then last rant, and I'll be quiet about this one. I saw a post on the Airman NCO page that had a meme. It showed a meme of a guy where it had a chief, a master, and a senior looking at him saying, hey, you didn't make it. And the guy looks sad. But then another person comes up, it was a cartoon, comes up to him, and it's a civilian person, and it says civilian pay, and the guy's happy. Bro, like, civilian promotion and military promotion is two different things.
It sure is.
And the civilian sector is all about your output. What are you doing for the corporation? I would argue when people say there's a lot of subjectivity and what's the term, good old boy system in the military, I won't deny that. In some cases it is. But it's also in the civilian sector too.
Sure is.
Oh, in the civilian sector, they're going to pay you more money. You know why? Because in the military sector, there's a lot more people employed in the Air Force than in the civilian sector. So everybody can't make the same amount of money you make in the civilian sector. However, it's just what Jay Player said earlier. When it comes to your records and your performance, it's the feedback and believing in what you're doing is important. And I go back to what I was saying about timing. It's timing. You can only do what's important to you, and that's going to contribute to the mission of the Air Force. And I hate to say it, it's going to sound cliche, it's drinking the blue Kool-Aid. Trust in the system. If you are doing work, trust me, you're going to get promoted. It may not be as fast as the person to my right or the person to my left. You're going to get there. All right. So there's some comments down at the bottom. Let's see.
They're all from Pete.
Hey, you let Dave talk, please. Shout out to Pete. You know what? I know everybody's wondering why he's not here. And I tell you, it's been so great that he's not here because he's sort of an annoyance. His internet don't work, y'all. All those shows he's talking about, my internet is not mine. It's his now. Faith, over to you.
So I wanted to hop on because I have to appreciate, first of all, congrats, Chief. Retired, sis, big sis. Hey. Girl.
I'll see you in June.
I need you to text me your address.
Okay.
So here's it. You know, I play with perspective, right? So here's perspective that I think that a lot of what happens when we get to certain things we forget, right? So day one when I came in the military, my TI told me, because I came in the 6th year, I had a little slick sleeve. I didn't have any rank or nothing on until I graduated basic training and tech school, right?
Yeah.
He told me my name and the U.S. Air Force name tape were level for a reason because the Air Force is going to get what it requires out of me. It's my job to get what I require out of it.
Ooh.
That middle part where the rank is, I have to do the work to earn that. And I have to be willing to sacrifice what is required for that based off of what the current requirements in the Air Force are. And those are constantly changing as we look at how we're not just GPC, but even look at how COVID changed how we looked at promotions of what we could do and couldn't do with whole airman concept. We have people who are still fighting the negative connotation of COVID when it comes to their records because that whole airman concept couldn't happen. But those records are still being looked at. Those records are still being reviewed. And there's people who are going, yeah, but we've been out of it for 2-3 years. Maybe where you were. Not every place was like that, right? So we still have a lot of things that psychologically, physiologically, mentally, and emotionally impact our people that we haven't even taken into account, that those 4 pillars of wellness are still trying to find a healthy balance coming back. Now we're going to take a completely shift over to the right again towards GPC and say, hey, we're shifting again. So the thing that I constantly remind my people that I mentor and that I talk to is that you have to be able to be willing to look at yourself in a mirror and ask yourself, first of all, what matters more to me? Feeding my potential or feeding my performance?
Okay.
The Air Force rates off performance, but they promote off potential.
Okay.
So you have to be willing to make sure that you understand what that balance looks like for you in your career field with your current leadership, because all of those are things that are subjective that you have no control over. You have control over this. You have control over your character versus your competence, right? Because that's another thing. You have to ask yourself whether or not you want to be the smartest person in the room or the most trusted person in the room. Because that's not always the same either.
Yeah.
Right?
Dale, you smelling that? You smelling this, Dale? What's up with you? You smelling this?
So
yeah, it's YouTube Shorts.
we have to be really mindful as leaders to make sure that we actually sit down with our people and ask the question, hey, what'd you actually come in for? Are you trying to be a chief in 20 years? Because here's the things I need you to be prepared for. You gonna get punched in the face. You gonna get punched. You gonna have some people you and they're gonna pat you on the back while they're sticking a "I'm stupid" sticker on your back while they're doing it. Yep. And some of them are gonna be the leaders who are gonna look at you and say, "Hey, I got you." And they're the same ones sticking something on your back because they got to make sure the homeboy who's been in for a little bit longer, who's about to hit higher tenure, is good to go too, because they don't want to lose him, even though your performance and your character may be higher. So it's constantly going to be about a battle of subjectivity versus sacrifice, and then your own personal understanding of what you're willing to give. And if I may, I'm going to give you an example. Okay. I think everybody knows I'm a single mom with 2 boys, right? I got a 20-year-old and an 11-year-old who thinks he's taller than me, but he about to get put on his knees sometimes, right? So
He is.
Girl, he 5'3" already. He driving me nuts at 11. Okay, so, but I'm on top 3. I volunteer all the time. I'm mentoring. I got 9 out of 13 made master this year. And it's not because of the fact that I was mentoring. It's because I let them do what they needed to do for them. I gave, hey, you need to go this way. Okay, let me help you get the connect so that way you can go that way. I didn't do anything but just help guide, right? And that's what we're supposed to do. They just were successful in the things that they did, right? But all those things, and then both my boys are active. One's working, one's trying to get a job on base, one's trying to, the other's doing athletic stuff 3-4 times. So the one thing I refuse to do, since I already have my CCAF, is take more time away from my babies to finish my bachelor's. I'll do it before I get out, but I'm not doing it right now. And I'm okay with the fact that I have leaders who come to me and go, yeah, but maybe you'd have a better consideration for senior if you had that piece of paper. And I go, okay, well, then it's just not meant for me.
Yeah.
Right now. And I'm okay with that. Right now, I'm okay with that. I am willing to understand that it's not going to change how well I do my job. It's not going to change how much I'm willing to sacrifice. It certainly doesn't change my character or my competence. But right now, what I'm getting out of the Air Force, that I need to take care of Faith, because the Air Force is getting enough out of me already.
I feel the spirit in here. All right, just real quick. I just want to go back to what you said. You said your supervisor, chief, whoever they may be, told you, if Faith, because you don't have this bachelor's degree, you may not be ready for senior master. You said, I'm good with that.
I'm good. I'm good with that, because just like, and we've talked about this before, right, Chief?
Yeah.
The balance of Faith and Master Sergeant Donovan will always have to be something that I take a look at, because Faith is not, I'm not single. I'm not just taking care of me. I got literally bloodlines running around this house that I'm responsible for.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with holding it down where I need to, and understanding that balance between those 2 name tapes, I have a say in that.
Yeah. Okay.
And
real
I'm okay.
Quick, we're gonna do this one last thing on this topic. We're gonna move on. I'm looking at the chart here. It says average score was 390.1 board score for selectees. Average time of grade was 4.32 years, 13.95 years time in service. So in 10 seconds, I'm gonna go to each one of y'all. Give your thoughts on what we can do to better improve the process when it comes to boarding Master Sergeant Seniors, the Chiefs. I'll quickly go first. Give feedback from the board. 5 to 10 statements for each promotee. Dell, let's go to you.
Yeah, I agree. There's some times where chiefs get to gatekeep some notes that only if you know someone you can get those notes. But I think it should be transparent and should come with your score with at least an average of notes put together, at least from the source itself.
Jess?
I agree, having the notes, but also having that person's record right there so that they can get a clear picture and plan, like develop them an individualized plan. I just believe in individualized feedback with this. Like have that feedback and your record.
All right.
Yeah.
Corey?
Oh, hey, I'm the one that ain't made no stripes right here. So for me, I would say overall, it would be the situation of changing the dialogue to have you don't serve the commander, you serve the Air Force. Changing that mindset to your records need to point to your potential that you talked about to serve the Air Force, not to serve within your organization at a higher level.
Faith? The Don, I'm sorry.
No, you're all right, Chief. I think the conversation is important. I think another thing too, though, and this may not be the popular opinion, is that in order for it to be truly be effective, I think commanders actually need to know their people. Because why would I have the conversation with you if you don't even know who I am and what I stand for? Right? So you're going to give me feedback on my board score. Cool. That's great. But you're probably going to give me feedback on the fact that there's some notes and saying, hey, that I could have already told you before I'm most people who are going in 10, 12 years, right? First time, they know going into it, ooh, I got a good chance, or ooh, I don't know, or ooh, I'm not ready, or ooh, I'm ready. They already have something going on in their head, whether it's some kind of nervous anxiety or not. But in order for chiefs and for commanders to actually be able to give that feedback, you got to know whether or not that feedback's going to be received the way that you intended. Which means you got to know your people. And we have
So
a lot
I don't want us to leave this topic too quick. I know you need to, but then y'all just brought up a lot of good stuff, and I'm only going to Corey because Corey, I was in your position. We got to think about the members that are geographically separated from their command teams. So it's like I'm with you. I used to hate when people were like, well, this is the commanders. You're right. This is the commander. But when we are geographically separated units, whoever I'm with right now, you're the extension of that commander. And it's your job to make sure that you explain his or her intent in order for me to make it. So when it comes time for my EPB, don't be coming up in here telling me, well, the commander only has so many to give out. Like, this is where we at. No. You are that person that's an extension of that person. So help me understand, what are we doing collectively at our unit to meet the commander's intent?
Ain't nothing.
Dang, that was
CSU.
Oh, I know.
Knowing that you're going to look at every single award package, every single thing, and you're going to see one person from your group, one person from where you are in the world. And then you look at where everybody else is winning. You're like, oh, wait, what's the vicinity of them? Oh, 2 doors down from the commander's office. I see you. You make an impact on my everyday mission. All these GSU, those are my problems. All these people close to me, you're my solutions. That's what we get every single day. And I'm just like, hey.
Yeah.
I used to think about those are just like, because I was away and then coming back and then going away. It offers so much perspective, but you got to think about it. Like you said, just because you see my face and you're able to put my face with my name, you got to understand we're with host units. Like, these are host wings who are taking care of us. And what I do appreciate about that is that the host wing sometimes gives you that love that you may not receive from your mothership. So that's the other aspect of some of those. But I do think we have to do a better job when we are geographically separated from our people, to go out to them frequently. I know you do it a lot, DC, with your command team, but I think we could get a little bit better with that.
How many times have we had folks who left their parent unit to serve with another unit or a wing, and they get treated better with the unit or wing that they're at? And then when the EPR rolls around, the unit they're with decides to recognize them for their talents, but the parent unit is like, oh, when he was with us, but he or she was with us, blah, 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 blah. And I think it goes to what you were saying. It's like it's a jointed effort. Like when you release folks that go to a wing, you've got to be able to accept the fact that when they go somewhere else, they're growing where they're at somewhere. They're growing at another location, and that's perfectly fine. Don't get upset because your troop left your organization to go somewhere else, which you allowed them to do, and they're thriving. There's nothing wrong with that, and then allow them to grow. But yeah, they need to do a better job with that. See, that's got a question from OG Samel Brown. The Boston Celtics sucks. Oh yeah, that's not the question. Okay. I got a question for Daniel Boone. Who are we talking about? Is that me? Oh.
You.
Do you feel the CC exec gets the nod because they are close to leadership and are an extension? Ooh. Corey, I'm going to let you answer that first.
Thank you. So, as you may or may not know, I was a command chief exec, and I was a loan out from another wing. Yes, from DC. Let him pat himself on the back. Say that man many times. But either way, I got a great experience through that. But I had no support from my actual host unit. My host unit, because of me being an aviator, they saw it as me leaving my post and not giving back to the unit, not taking care of the unit. But I'm like, hey, you call me. I'm right here with the command chief. If there's something for the group that needs to be taken care of, I'm a phone call or text away. If I got to whisper in his ear or say, hey, Colonel, you haven't done a walkabout over in this group over here. Maybe you can show them some love because they're a part of your host, right? They're part of your wing. They're part of underneath your umbrella. And they saw it as me stepping out, not giving back to the unit. Now, the information, the connections, the skills that I picked up while underneath that umbrella and doing that job was amazing. And it got me to where I am today. And I very much appreciate it. Got nothing but love for DC all day and that team that I have up there. But I do remember feeling alone while I was up there, like, I am forgotten because I'm not giving back to the mission that commander cared most about. Yeah. The commander's like, hey, this is my day in and day out. We just let our body go out and do his own thing up there. Now, does it work out well if you are underneath the umbrella of that wing, that command chief you're working for? 100%. There's a conversation that can be had with those group chiefs, those group commanders, like, hey, let's let this body be free for a little while to be able to be utilized properly by that command chief, by that group, by that wing, I'm sorry. But if it's not a conversation that happens, that person will pay the piper overall because they're going to be missing out.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. The only thing I'll quickly add, and I wanted to see if Dell wanted to chime in because Samel put up a good comment down there that goes for SF a lot. And Dell, you're coming out of a DSD going into SF. So I wanted to pass that over to you. Only thing I'll say about that is people sometimes forget, like here at JBSA, like between the 19th Air Force Command Chief and the AETC Command Chief, they put out a big message looking for Command Chief execs. And they hardly get any nomination because I think it gets the advertisement does not get pushed or folks poison the well because they say, why would you want to be an exec? You're going to miss out at your career field. You're not going to get promoted. I would argue those who work at the command chief exec level, there's more pressure on them because case in point, my exec now, he works for not just me, but a 2-star general. And I tell you, when we go on the road, if something goes wrong, he's going to hear about it. And so those type of things, not everybody can work at that level. So there is some advantages and disadvantages to that. So Dell, quickly over to you.
Oh yeah, that's what I got told before I went DSD, that I wasn't going to promote and that I'm going to get left behind when I joined. And as soon as I got to my position, I promoted my first year, and now I'm hearing the same thing going back. So I returned back to career field in August, and they're going to say I got left behind, and I'm going to start from the bottom and stuff like that. But if I'm not in for that. I got people I can depend on, and I'm actually going back to security forces about a month prior just to, do left seat, right seat with a fleet flight chief just to get back in the lingo. So when I do get to Korea, I'm not sitting there looking like a irrelevant senior NCO that don't know crap about the career field. So it comes, it comes with, you want to decide to do these DSDs. It's a risk that you're taking of not learning that knowledge. So, I'm cool with that, and nothing is gonna hurt me in the long run. It's all what I want to do. So I'm glad I did my DSD. It was the best thing for my career, honestly.
All right. And then last word, we'll give the Faith your thoughts. You're working kind of in your career field, but at a different capacity. What's up? What's up there? What's going on, man?
11-year-old.
What's up?
Yes.
What's up? So, Faith, you're working in a different capacity. Not you're in your career field, but you're kind of working in the commander staff. Do you feel like you're at a disadvantage or an advantage being in that position?
I feel like it's a give and take, right? I feel like I'm a disadvantage now because change in leadership has made it definitely very a very poignant statement in regards to the fact that since I'm not in the job that I was hired to do here, right? Because coming here to the services center and being at the headquarters for our career field, you're hired to do a specific position. So to get pulled from that and to have your record say you're at the services center, but you're not even doing anything that is quote unquote services related, right? It can have a look depending on how it's written, right? I think that may be to go back to the one note that you had about here locally. I think not only is there a negative connotation here locally to being an exec, because every time it's come across, somebody has said something to me, been like, "Hey, Faith, you should go do it." And next thing I know, I hear 6 other people going, "Ooh," right? Because of the fact that 90% of the positions at Lackland JBSA are you either got to be vectored or you got to be hired. They're talent marketplace hired positions. So you're pulling MTLs, MTIs, you're pulling other people out of a job that they were actually applying to get to go do something that is a 3F5 job.
Okay.
Right.
Good stuff,
so,
yeah.
Right. So I think, but for me, I know why I'm in that position. And I'm grateful every day for the opportunity to see how those big picture things come together. To see how the strategic communication comes for all the different areas of what we do. Do I have hesitation for myself this next time around going up? Yeah, of course I do. But it's not because of the fact that I'm doing the job that I'm doing. It's because of the fact that I constantly have to figure out how this job that I'm doing has the same impact as a master sergeant who's filling an SEL slot out at a base that doesn't have a chief or a senior.
Right.
Who's leading 400 FSSers and 3 or 4 different AFSCs.
Right.
Right. Because it's not my commander. I agree with you, Court. It's not my commander who I have to worry about saying, "Hey, Faith, I think you're amazing." It's whether or not the Air Force says, "Hey, Faith, you're ready to go be a senior master sergeant and be a FSV flight superintendent somewhere and take care of all these different programs and all these different people," when my record for the last 3 years says I've worked at the services center and I've only led 3 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think there's give and take to all of it, right? The competence and the information I've been able to sit in the room. I've been in rooms that I never thought I'd be in. Is that going to get me promoted? Probably not. But it definitely makes that knowledge piece, that growth mindset get fed, right? So I'm okay with that.
All right. Hey. All right. Well, we appreciate both of y'all being on, man. Shout out to y'all joining the corner today. We're going to let y'all drop off. We about to talk about something else in a second when y'all drop off. If y'all want to jump in on that, feel free to jump back in.
I need Corey's information. Bye, Faith.
Bye,
Courtland.
Hey, Corey. Hey, Chief Player wants your information, man. Just hit her up or drop it in the comment. All right, so I know we've been on a bit. There's something I really wanted to talk about, especially we got a lady joining us on the show. I would love to hear your perspective. It is something that has permeated in the community as far as dating, courting, things of that nature. So I will play it for y'all. I think it'll be interesting chats. But give me a second. I will pull it up here. Let's see. All right. So to put in perspective, this is Joy Taylor. If y'all don't know her, she is a well-known sports talk host. She hosts her own show with 3-4 other men, LaShawn McCoy, Emmanuel Acho. Yeah, thank you, Del. So what she said was interesting. I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
These men out here want the princess treatment. They want to be treated like ladies.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Macho.
They want that.
I mean, that's what you're saying. You the only one who's supposed to be
They want to know what it feels like to be a lady. Hold on.
Shane, answer the question.
You want to know what it feels like to be treated like a lady. I know how it feels. That's the only way I'm treated. But you know what? You know what, Princess Boy? I got you, because I got it like that.
You do?
So if you want me to treat you like a lady, I can treat you like a lady, baby. I have put roofs over men's heads. I have put food on the table. Okay? So this is not a thing for me. Like I said, I got it like that.
Chicken ass Jordan.
Listen. It ain't chicken if you got it. That is a fact multiple times over. I'm not talking. I would not.
Thoughts? To put it in context, so there was a discussion they had on the show. Is I would label it Princess Boys. What it says, she went out on her third date with some guy, and I guess the guy expected her to pay for dinner and some other things, and she wasn't a fan of it. And so they were saying like, well, what's wrong with that? And so she kind of labeled that person or men who think that as Princess Boys, be treated like a lady, get paid for and stuff. So thoughts?
So I will say this. After my divorce, because it's been some years, just getting, because I will always say the dating pool got pee in it. You know, y'all are two married people, so I can say these things. So it's like, it's a new era out here of dating. And before I was exclusively dating, I was saying, what I mean by exclusively dating mean, okay, we locked in, you can't date nobody else, I can't date nobody else. But I just think we've messed up the environment when we talk about dating. And I say this from my own experience. I think, you know, growing up, you get told like, oh, you get locked down with this person and you don't date. You just be like, hey, this is my person and we're going to start talking and develop this relationship. But now that I'm older, I agree with her just a little bit. And what I say just a little bit, I believe that as a woman, if I'm going out on a date with a man, I believe that if you ask me, you should pay. Now, if this is a collaborative effort of us hanging out, there will be moments where I'm like, okay, you paid last time, let me pay this time. But I just think it's between you and that person. I won't necessarily call it princess treatment, because sometimes people have dating misconstrued. And before, like I was dating exclusively, I'll be honest, if Marcus wanted to go out and eat on Thursday night, Mike wanted to go bowling and eat out on Friday night, and I got somebody that want to go to church on Sunday, I'm taking all the dates. Let me make sure my calendar is cleared. Because this is the thing, I don't know like what my personality, now that I'm older, what my personality likes, like what other human do I like in my space with me? So yeah, but I have seen and I have met some men that have like a list. And you know, I always thought like women have lists. And I was like, when you meet men sometime and they be like, well, this is my list. Like, I don't want kids that are small. How is your baby dad? I said, first of all, he's not my baby daddy. He'll never be my baby daddy. He is my ex-husband. He's my co-parent. And then it's like, well, you from the South. Like, I got to see like where you're from. And I need to meet you. Like, we ain't going that far, people. We're just going to a movie. Like, I just want to go to a movie where it got a bar to it. Would that work? So that was a first for me. So that's what I do agree with her when she talk about princess treatment, because typically you hear women that always say, hey, I don't want no guy that got all these kids or, you know, has different baby mamas or different women, but it's just different. But I agree. Like, if you want to act like that with me, and hey, I'll be so petty, I'll open the door for him instead of him opening the door for me. But what you would never catch me though.
You're right.
You know, this is the dating is like just that, it's hard. And I've dated, I had a problem with first. I'll say this, a guy, like every time we were somewhere, he had to walk in front of me. I'm like, where are you going? Like, why do you have to be in front of me? Like, why you can't walk side by side with me? But yeah, the treatment stuff out here.
All right. Yo, in the comments, if you out there, ladies, gentlemen, if y'all agree with Joy, or if you men out there, if you in the comments, you would think you're a Princess Boy, chime in or jump on. If you're a lady, you're not about Princess Boys, chime in. Del, what you think? I know you're off the market now, but what about when you was in those streets dating? What did you do?
In the streets, don't say it like that. You'll get me canceled. No, I grew up in
Miss Brown, he's not in the streets. Miss Brown.
yeah, appreciate it. I grew up in the era where I always saw my dad being respectful to my mom, and I just emulated that being a lady, well, not a ladies' man, but just a masculine figure in the relationship where I pretty much, take care of everything I can, like, open the door, paying for dates and stuff like that. I do like, when, females do pay for like, stuff like when we go out and be like, oh no, I got it, but I don't expect it. But it's cool to see the offer. Like, hey, I got it this time. Even though I'll still try to pay for it, I'll tell the waiter, hey, I got it, don't worry about it, or something like that. But it's cool when females do step up and be like, hey, I got this one and stuff like that. Like me and my wife do now when we go out. So yeah, I don't agree with the whole princess boy thing, but it is nice sometimes when females do take care of their man, should I say, or their partner.
I wouldn't say I'm a princess boy, but I tell you, ain't nothing sexy to see the woman pull out that credit card and they gonna pay. Yesterday, Mrs. Council pulled out the card and she got wash and dry. Ooh, that was sexy. Man, because like I was, Del, you can attest, you had that card ready, right?
Yeah,
but then she's like, no, I got it. Oh, that makes me melt, bro. That makes me melt. But I will say, it's interesting today when it comes to relationships now. It's like, back in the day, Del, to your point, like your father, you saw your father treated ladies and stuff. And you kind of emulated that, opening the door and stuff. Kind of walking on the outside from the curb with your lady and stuff like that, stay in the front. But there's not all, but there's some ladies out there that don't appreciate that anymore. It's almost like they say it's there's no need for it. But I think it is to some degree.
Right.
But I think the unfortunate thing is some men, not all, but some men have taken that on the chin. Like, okay, I'm not going to do it anymore. And I don't have a daughter. I wish I did. But if I had a daughter, I would say, whoever you're with, they should be honored to be with you. And they need to earn your respect for you to be with them. So that means if they invite you out, it's expected they're going to pay. Now, if you invite them out, they're going to try to pay, but at least you offer. And for men and women out there, when y'all go out to a restaurant, somebody offer you up there, I'm guilty of it too. Like, if you're going to buy my drink, I may not be thirsty, but I'm going to get them drinks because it's free. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, personally, in my opinion.
It's not. And Pete, let me clear something up real quick for you about what I meant about that door. So I'm gonna open up the door because first I'm gonna be driving the vehicle, and then I'm gonna climb over from my driver's seat to the passenger seat, and I'm gonna open the door like that. I'm not walking out of my door. That's what I mean.
Real right there. That's real. Yeah. What movie was that in when they did that? What movie was that?
I think Usher said that in a song.
I want to say it was like it was a well-known movie.
No, we're gonna get out the same door.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but man.
Oh yeah, that's answer Samel's question.
What the hell does Samel say?
Yeah, we got two accounts. We have our joint account where we pay our bills and mortgage and the mandatory priority stuff, and then we have like our fun account where I put a certain amount in my account and she puts her a certain amount, and then it's our fun money. So yeah, just for clarity. It took me a while to do that though. Like I was all like selfish, like I want my money, and I'll just pay the bills off my own personal. But then it grew on me, and we finally came together. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. So just at what point when you were dating, at what point, what gives you, or what sign, or does it just happen naturally, for a guy to know that he's in there? Like you guys are boyfriend, girlfriend. Like
I think for
what
me,
is it?
So you know when they say opposites attract, for me, I know I don't need opposites attract. Like I need to know like who I'm dealing with. Just give me somebody like me, because I know sometimes like I need to be put in time out. But at the same time, I know like because I know Tony will laugh if he does, and when he does see this, I used to laugh when people be like, "Oh, I'm sure you just walk all over Tony," and I'd be like, "Okay, that's because you don't know Tony." I know, and it was never like that. I just know I need a man that has a high level of aggression, but knows how to bring it down, just like me. Like I have a high level of aggression, because I identify as being alpha. I just need a person who is also alpha. But in that space, can we come together and complement and collaborate with each other? Like that's all that I offer. But I know the person is right for me is when it's intellectual. You know, one of the things I hated with relationships is especially when you start dating as someone who's like, well, what is your love language? I'm not going to tell you. You can find out. Like, let's spend time together so that you can see about me. Like, I'm not giving you a checklist or a shortcut. Right. The other piece, like I've dated guys that have dated women who are very beautiful, but they are very materialistic. So like dating someone who thinks that they can buy your love, now that was overwhelming for me because I'm like, that's not my love language anyway. But two, it's almost like I had to sit sometimes with myself with dating. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, is this what it's like out here? And at first I was like, I dress too conservative. But to that old school point, it's like, I am a conservative person and it's okay to still have my values, you know, in the forefront when I'm dating. But that's what I mean. Like dating is wild because you see all this stuff on social media and then people think like, hey, I want these relationship goals. But bottom line for me, when I know my man and I are locked together is when he can add value to me. Don't take away from me. That's all I'm looking for. Like, do you stimulate me mentally, intellectually? Like, can we talk about things? Like, I hate when, so no slight to guys out here, but I hate when a guy's talking to me and you talking about damn shade room. Like, boo-boo, like, I don't want to talk about that all the time. Like even for me as a female, I enjoy sports. Like we can go to a sport, like games. Like I could talk sports with you all day. And I have guys that was like, that's uncommon. That means you have a lot of male friends. So you probably mess with them all. I'm like, I'm literally a tomboy. So that's why I like sports. But it's different. But yeah, that's what locks me in, the intellectual piece. Like, can you add value to me and help not diminish me in order for you to look like, oh.
So you're a Jordan then, not a Pippen then. I had this analogy I used to ask folks in interviews, like determining type A, type B. Between Jordan and Pippen, who's the type A, you think?
Oh, Jordan all day.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're a Jordan. Pippen is more type B or maybe a C. Like everybody know Pippen could score, right? But he was comfortable letting Jordan do his thing and be the facilitator. Whereas a Pippen is a person's like kind of comfortable in their space. They don't have to be the lead scorer, but at the same time, their dish is dangerous. Whereas Jordan is a bulldog. I would say Jordan and Kobe is the type A. So you like a Pippen or a Jordan?
I'm like Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops.
Okay.
Not
Caitlin Clark.
On the situation. I can be both. This depends on the situation.
Yep.
All right. Okay, player.
Hybrid.
Yeah. I think I'm more of a Pippen. I don't think I'm a Jordan type of person. More like a Pippen. Okay. All right. So we've got about maybe 15. What does Samel say?
He said suckers. JP questioning why you like.
Pete said want the Duck Award.
Man, tell. Look, Samel. Look, I know Boston's in the playoffs, man, but nobody. You should have got on anyway. You talking all in the comments. I thought you was real, bro. I thought you was gonna get on, but I see you ain't about that, like partner. Anyway, all right. So, what the Duck Award? So here's the thing. Before I present it, what I want to do is present Exhibit A of the person who deserves a What the Duck Award. So for all the folks that's listening, we do What the Duck Award once a month because we do shows every 2 weeks. So we always present the What the Duck Award at the end of the month on the corner. So there was quite a few people that could have got it. For instance, Marjorie Taylor Greene could have got it. I was even considering Caitlin Clark when she made that mistake during the game when she got the technical and turned to a 3 or 4 point play when they lost.
Yeah.
But obviously, I think this is not going to surprise a lot of people who I'm going to select. So I'm just going to throw it up here to illustrate it. Drum roll, please. This guy. Well, after this quick commercial. I don't know why I'm not playing. All right, well, yeah. So anyway, so this guy, as you know, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, as you know it, P. Diddy, came out and he actually apologized for this video that has gone viral around the world of his unfortunate incident between him and his ex-girlfriend, Casey Ventura. So the reason why I felt like he deserves the What the Duck Award is not only for this that happened years ago, but for the fact that he actually went online. Can y'all see this part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna play a little bit of it.
Now you can play
the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was f***ed up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
Desi Banks said he was reading off a teleprompter when he read that.
So
now he was right there with Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons was on the other side holding it up for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was pretty obvious who would deserve the What the Duck Award this week. So curious to hear y'all thoughts on this video. Do y'all think it was sincere? Do y'all think it was just him trying to avoid more of the stuff that he's going through legally or what?
Yeah, I don't think it was.
I don't think neither.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Dale. I think
No, you
neither. I think, he's trying to validate his actions at this juncture. Because I go back to what he said when she first came out with it. It was like, this isn't true. So it's like you had so many people believing you, especially people go back to the Me Too movement. It was like, women are empowered, but you have actual footage where you treated her like an animal, like worse than an animal. And there's nothing for it. And I don't know why he even made that apology or why he attempted to, because it was not sincere.
Yeah, same thing. He just did it because it got leaked out. He was quick to pay her off, just for hush money, stuff like that. And he's just trying to cover his tracks to lessen the amount of animosity and cancel culture, if you would say, that's coming his way, and legal allegations that's coming his way. So he's just quick to hop on a quick live and try to cover up his tracks. So a lot of people are unfollowing him too. So I think he knows what's coming.
Yeah, I think what's sad is, I think somebody, I forgot what show I watched, but they was comparing what he did to what R. Kelly did. The only thing I would say is it's disturbing that there's probably more people out there in that industry doing this crazy stuff. And it's unfortunate that, you have women, even men, that's exposed to this type of treatment. And a lot of them they don't believe them. And then when it comes out in this video, how many people actually believe that he did when it came out? I don't know. But when you see it and everybody's like, oh, this is disturbing. This is terrible to watch. Like, you do remember this happened when she came out with the original claim.
Yeah.
So that type of lifestyle, it just goes to show you there's people out there trying to live their dreams. They go out and they trust someone, and then this happens. So, and one more thing I'll add to that too. I saw a comment from Joe Budden. He's a famous talk show host. I guess his girlfriend saw Joe Budden's reaction, and she kind of pounced on him and said, "Well, yeah, you threw me down the stairs at one point." So You don't know what's going on in people's in the people's houses, so that's very unfortunate. Let's see, Samel Brown. What does he say? Go ahead, Jess. Jess, I'm sorry.
I was looking to see if Little Kim would come out and say anything in his defense, and because I remember how they depicted her interaction with Biggie back in the day and how abusive he was to her. But I'm pretty sure like she's another individual who knows in great depth and detail of how his behavior is as well. Maybe Faith. Like I think about that core of people that were around him on that time frame. I want to pivot because we're going to go to the comments, but it makes me think about too, like Cameron when he went on CNN, like his response, and like some people look at it as a power play, but it's like, seriously, like, are we not vetting these people because you're trying to like just get a response from just anybody? But what he did, I was disgusted, but then I saw what he did was basically promoting himself, his own adventures.
Yeah. Interesting. Hey, Pete, throw that comment back up there from Charles Davis. All right, thank you. He said, Charles Davis says he didn't apologize to Casey, but made it about him. Narcissistic behavior and takes away from the victim. Casey, he is a bum. Well, P. Diddy is a bum. Yeah. So I think last week we asked folks who out there still listens to R. Kelly. So I'm curious, for you folks out there who listen to R. Kelly, would you still listen to P. Diddy? Do any of you two listen to R. Kelly?
I'm gonna be honest, a song had came on because I have like Apple playlists and I use Pandora a lot. And there was a song that he made with Bad Boys, I Miss You. I ain't gonna lie, I quickly skipped by it. Cause it was like I just can't listen. And it was the same thing with R. Kelly. Like I used to love some R. Kelly, knowing doggone well I was too young to understand what 12 play meant. But we'll play all that stuff. Play all that stuff. And now I don't find myself playing it at all. And what do y'all think about Kelly Price and her comment towards showing him grace?
What she say? I didn't catch that. What she say?
Yeah, I didn't catch that one either.
Yeah, she got drugged for her comments.
Oh, wow.
So while you're looking for that, I see TC's congratulations on your retirement as well as K Rod's retirement. Look, my sis in the building. Hey, congratulations, sis.
Congratulations to you too, sis.
Man, why is everybody, man, I'm starting to feel like, why am I still here? Everybody's retiring. Might be time for me to hang up the boots. Who knows? But yeah, I don't listen to R. Kelly and I don't listen to P. Diddy anymore. But to Joe's comment, I think it's interesting. Like Faith Evans, Lil Kim, Mary J. Blige, all those folks that was around him. I wonder if they knew or they had an idea. There was a person that was on CNN that actually worked for Puff Daddy or P. Diddy. And she said she didn't see any of that stuff, but she's not surprised. Something about, she said that it was like a power control or dynamic, and she's not surprised that it happened. I'm thinking to myself, she didn't see anything, like no signs or anything. She called it a woman's intuition. That's what it was. Women's intuition. What was that comment up there? Pete,
so
back up there.
And
okay, never mind.
He says
giving on R. Kelly.
Oh yeah, Aaron Hall as well.
Aaron Hall was because he was named in P. Diddy's joint, right?
But he was also, another one that was abusive was Joe. And I'm shocked this way. Oh, absolutely.
Joe the whiner?
Joe?
Mojo. Yes, he was.
What?
He was just like us.
I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Joe
what did Kelly Price say?
So Kelly Price said she offered a prayer to Diddy. And she said, "It is in my sincere prayer that the power of the Holy Ghost overtake you so that you not only have a change of heart, but a change of mind and a change of direction. I've seen you at your best and at your worst. I know that you are capable of being when you were at your best, despite the seductions of this industry. I want to see you. I want to see you soon to create this in the business, but I need you to pray. I need you to receive from the Most High. I need for those prayers to take place sincerely. You are a unique talent, and both sides that represent light and darkness receive you anxiously. Do you know who God is? Lean not until, I think she meant to say, lean not into your own understanding, but all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. So she tried to clear that up, but she put that prayer on there and a lot of, they went for. So she tried to clarify and she said, for those who misconstrued, misinterpreted, or just chose to put words in my mouth, this is for clarification. If you choose to believe otherwise, this is your choice, but I won't let anyone call me out for doing something I didn't do. But yeah, she got drugged.
I didn't hear about that.
I didn't know that. Good Lord. Jeez. Throw that comment back up there with 2 C's. She said everybody is still messing with Dre.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, was there anything that was like proven or like, because I heard about the stuff with Michelle. I think that's what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, Michelle and his ex-wife. His ex-wife was also vocal about how abusive he was. But you could say Dre was also messed up and possibly could still be.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate these days, man. Okay, so we're coming to the end. I just want to throw one last thing up. Hold on, let me see. Samel Brown. Fam, don't be surprised by these abusive men. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience severe intimate partner physical violence.
You're right.
Jeez, man. Okay. All right. So one more thing. So I don't know if you guys have been tracking, but I will throw it up here. So with all the conversation about beards in the Air Force, I don't know if you guys know, but there's a Facebook group called the DoD Beard Initiative, with their sole goal is to get the whole Department of Defense military folks into beards. And so maybe it appears they may get some traction, because recently the House just passed a motion, and I think you can see it here, to do a pilot program in the Airmen and Space Force where folks can wear beards at certain units as a testing phase to check for morale, discipline. Here is growth on discipline, morale, and unity in the ranks. So, that being said, y'all thoughts on that?
I will always stand by, just like I believe the ponytails were an enhancer for self-esteem. I believe that beards are also an enhancer for individual self-esteem. But to say that it'll improve discipline, I don't understand the correlation. Maybe I need to read more, but I think
maybe I'm sorry, maybe they meant erode discipline, maybe.
Okay.
Or having a beard. My bad.
I just believe in, we always talk about being equal, but then the equity piece, we miss a lot. But I don't see a problem with the beards. However, it's like now that you're on base or I drive around, the installation, it looked like people without a beard, it's uncommon. So it's like, it's common to have a beard now. So that's why I don't understand. It's like, well, what is the piece? And that's why I used to always tell people, like, stop saying it deals with the professional image, because that's subjective based off of what Google, because you know how Google is. You could put in beautiful people and we probably won't even pop up. It'll be some erotic people. So that's why I'm just like, when you put in professional beards, who will pop up? Most of the time it's going to be the civilian sector. And most of the time it's still going to be long and not within the standards that we're looking for. But I support it just at this juncture, because we are dealing with the recruitment for sure and retention. Like, I stopped at Buc-ee's in Auburn, and to see how much you get paid, that's why no one is staying in as well. It's like, I can grow my hair, I can do whatever I want to do, because look, they're paying for it. But the recruitment piece, I think, is so low, because look at how we've evolved over the last 5 years, and we're continuing to evolve, but with more restrictions.
Daryl, what's your thought?
Yeah, I'm all for test betting it and seeing how it goes. It is a big push. I'm a part of that page. I got a Shaven waiver, so I know the type of people that it will give a head nod to. I know a lot of people do, as little as it is, a lot of people get disturbed by this having to shave, and that one thing that the Air Force or Space Force will allow them to do, or all DoD branches will allow them to do, that'll like Jess was saying, boost their morale and retain as much as little gesture that is. But I'm curious to see how that goes and how other bases take, wondering why it's not happening at their base, but it's happening at base X. So it's going to be kind of like a feud or whatever, but I'm here for it.
So Mel says, hell, the DOD might as well take the L and allow it. There are more beards than not these days in the military.
Yeah.
So I agree. My thoughts on it is I've always said it, like, you got two choices, at least in my opinion, for the DOD. Either one, just allow it for all men, or two, make it more stringent, whereas instead of a 5-year waiver, it's a 1-year waiver, and they get reevaluated every year. If you're not willing to do that, you might as well just let everyone do it. And if I had to choose, they need to tighten the standard a little bit, because I still think there are folks that still like walk the tight line as far as like being outlined, faded in, and things of that nature. But I think you could have a professional force with beards. I think the regulation needs to be a little bit more descriptive, in my opinion. And then, of course, they need to fish out whether or not there's an issue with wearing gas masks. I don't think it is. I mean, I never experienced it, but I don't think it's a big issue. So, all right. Well,
with beards, what about the difference between someone having that religious accommodation?
Good point.
Because the length comes into place.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's the money shot right there. Like, when you think about, that's the money shot. When you think about gas masks, we allow religious accommodations to grow way out. You can argue, why does folks with a waiver that can't do the same thing? So, and that is man, that's a good point, Jay. That's the money shot right there. All right. So as we close, any last thoughts? Jess, let's start with you.
I would just like to say thank everyone for their heartfelt messages and congratulations to me. And we really appreciate you all coming out to the podcast, Unpopular Celebrities. And I'll be the first to say, I'll be the first one retired of us. So I get to offer now a different, perspective, as well as still kind of add on. But I'm looking forward to my role transitioning in our team too.
Awesome.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Dell?
Yep. Congrats again. Yeah, I'll be probably the last one to retire. So I'll be holding down the torch for a minute. But appreciate everyone tuning in on this Sunday. The month's already over. Next week we're in June. So summer begins. It's already summer here in AZ. It's already 100 degrees. So I'm about to go outside, cut some grass, and I appreciate y'all. And don't remember tomorrow. Tomorrow's for Memorial Day, for remembrance. If y'all So think about those that were before us that paid the ultimate sacrifice. And we'll see y'all on next week for the first show of the month.
Great point. Yes. Happy Memorial. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. My wife told me about this a week ago. Like, we shouldn't even say Happy Memorial Day.
Right. Exactly. It's kind of hard to say.
Like, I would almost argue there should be no sales or anything, all that stuff. Like, we take a day off, but it's for remembrance.
Yeah.
This is not like 4th of July. You know what I mean? It's like you got service members who passed away, and then you still got folks who are missing in action, prisoner of war. So it's not a happy Memorial Day. So thanks for bringing that up, Dale. So I echo your comments. Thanks for all those who tuned in. Shout out to Corey and Faith for jumping on the show for the corner. We much appreciate it. We will see y'all again in another 2 weeks. Y'all stay classy, y'all. I know y'all heard that before, but I'm just doing it with the thing. Stay classy, y'all. Unpopular Celebrities, we are out.
Peace.